Welcome to the ElderAbyss show. For talking videos, it's the place to go. Game tips, rants, tactics, and more. What you'll find here, never be sure.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. In this episode, we're doing a little bit of Black Ops, and I'm bringing you some Berlin Wall, which is one of the new maps out of the First Strike map pack. And I've got to say, just to throw this on out there, this is probably my favorite multiplayer map up until this point at what we're looking at now, 5 days after release. I really enjoy this map, and it's a good time. It plays really well in deathmatch. It offers a good mix and consistency of close to mid-range combat without piling everybody in the game in on top of each other. Because it's a big map and people can get spread out, but the areas of combat, they really focus on that mid to close range for the most part. I mean, there's some long ranges of sight, and you can really work that if that's what you're after. But I'm more of a close to mid-range guy, so that's kind of what I settle in on. And this map offers it, like I said, without throwing everybody in the game in on top of each other, which is great. I really enjoy that. Of the, just to touch on the other maps, which I'm planning on bringing you guys some coverage of the other maps, so no worries there. But like I said, this is my favorite. The other maps are really good. I enjoy those. On a sour note, I would have to say Kowloon's probably my least favorite, particularly for team deathmatch. But in all honesty, I haven't played Kowloon on the objective-based games, and that map would probably be a blast on something like Headquarters, I think. I'm just guessing. Like I said, I haven't done it. It may play well. It may play like garbage on Headquarters. I ain't sure. But it seems like it would suit the objective game types a little more, because with the objective game types, you pretty much are forcing people to get out and move around. On Team Deathmatch, there's nothing to encourage people to move around except for play style. And Kowloon is a camp fest, just to put it nicely. All the corners and the rooms, they shall be someone sitting there waiting upon you. But I digress. Kowloon shall be covered in yet another day. But the rest of the maps are really good. If there's anybody out there, any of you guys that are still on the fence about buying this map pack, definitely check it out. I think it's well worth the money. Now back to Berlin Wall here. Like I said, most of it's mid to close range combat, but especially through the middle and down those alleys, you got those long lines of sight. And one of the places that these guys like to set to get a good line of sight is each side has a hole in the wall, basically, that overlooks that middle section. And this angle right here is a really good spot to get access to that hole in the wall on the opposite side of the map. It's because those guys will peek through that hole in the wall and they'll be looking toward the middle. They usually don't look back up your way. And even if they do, you've got some nice cover there, and they're pretty much exposed. So that's a great little angle on that. If you find yourself back around that tank getting ready to cut across the tank side path, definitely, just take a second and peek through there, and half the time, I would say, is a fair assessment. I get lucky and find somebody just hanging out there and they get popped. So that's a good angle. Check it out. Work it into your routine. I think you will benefit from that. Generally speaking, stay out of those, it's a real fine line of what you can push on the sides of these paths before those alarms go off and you get shot. But work them as much as you can when you need to, as far as getting over and getting out of that direct line of fire, because these walls do give you a little bit of cover, like I'm working right here. So don't, while I don't want to encourage people to get into the red zone, don't be afraid to dance the fine lines, what I'm getting at. Because at times that can save you. It really can. And that building I just got killed in, which is the building I'm looking at now, that is a high traffic building. Very high traffic building. If you've played this map, you know, a handful of times, half a dozen or more, then go back and look at those heat maps available in theater mode, and you'll see that the vast majority of deaths have a tendency to happen right here where I'm killing these guys and in that building. And that's because people camp the shit out of that building back there. So just be aware that that building, especially on this half of the map, seems to be a high priority or high traffic camp fest, man. So depending on how you're wanting to play it out, you know, if you're wanting to work around that building and catch guys going in and out of it, that's where you need to focus. You know, if you're a 74U with rapid fire and you're not worried about dying before you take 2 or 3 of them out with you, that's where you want to go, I guess. Either way, just try to be aware of that. That seems to be, on this side of the map anyway, the place to be. And in all honesty, that's probably a good place to be. I've been in there in full, you know, a couple times. And you get some nice kills out of there, but I don't like hanging around there much. And that's the path across the middle, if you're not aware of that. I try to avoid that path. I will take the ones on either or of the ends, but the one across the middle just seems so open and vulnerable to me. I avoid it like the plague. I don't like feeling that exposed. It usually doesn't work out too well. But there is a lot of traffic down that path. A lot of traffic. So always keep your eye on it if you're working the middle on either side. I engaged this guy right here, and I don't know why I just stopped in the middle of the street. That was a bad move on my part. That was just, I got lucky and outgunned him, basically. Would have been better off to move up and take cover on that car or even over on those sandbags like I did to finish him off. Now, as far as working up this end of the map, I do like to work along the back like I am here and go up through that section that I'm looking at. But just be careful, because right there where I just shot, there's a kind of a lowered wall where people can stand up and shoot over, and this hole in the wall. You know, keep an eye on that. That's your real threat points when you're coming up to this section of the map. And that little lowered wall is such a problem for me. I usually won't even go through that hole when I'm coming in from this side. I'll hop over the wall, and if you catch a guy in time, you can hop back if you see him standing there. But we're at the end, guys. Thanks for watching, man. We'll catch y'all later.
We're all just gamers.